Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hello? Test? Test, test. Test 1, 2. Hi, guys. So, yeah, it's Watch Mojo. All right, get over it. It's one video. Top 10 greatest British food dishes. Greatest American food. Tacos. Hamburgers. Sausages. Pizza. Chinese restaurants. That's Chinese food, so doesn't count.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 greatest British
Oh no, I'm hungry and watching a food video, which is stupid.
foods or dishes. For this list, we'll be looking at some classic staples of UK cooking.
Very nice.
What's your favorite UK meal and your perfect pudding? Let us
Well, pudding to you guys isn't pudding to us. I love fish and chips. I always have. And fish and chips is the only place where I call fries chips. In fact, I was confused why it was called fish and chips when we got it with fries. But anyways, let's go.
know in the comments. Number 10, Toad in the Hole. We love our sausages in the UK, whether as part of a breakfast, slapped on a butty, or paired with fluffy potato to create the classic bangers and mash. One traditional sausage dish that still survives today is the humble Toad in the Hole. It's not the most appetizing of names, but otherwise, what's not to like about sausages baked in Yorkshire pudding batter? This simple meal is quick to make.
So Yorkshire pudding is what we call popovers, I think. And we usually have them at Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas. Sometimes we don't have them. But they are so good with some gravy on it. Oh my God. Mashed potatoes.
And especially tasty when paired with onion gravy. Toad in the Hole began popping up in the 18th century as a way for poor families to stretch out meagre meat portions. It wasn't always made with sausage. One early recipe calls for pigeon in the hole, but nowadays it's sausage or nothing. Number 9. Haggis, neeps and tatties. A sheep's stomach stuffed with offal, onion and spices might not sound delicious.
Why does it look like couscous or quinoa? So guys, I've never had organ meat, but it doesn't scare me. I would absolutely try it. I'm not afraid to try something. It's just if I don't like it, I feel like if you go into something, I'm talking way too much. If you go into something like with like a, you're not gonna like it, okay? So I try to embrace it, but why does it look like quinoa?
But it's actually pretty good. Haggis can sometimes be found in a full Scottish breakfast, but is most often eaten as part of the Burns night supper. Neeps and tatties, turnips and potatoes, are traditionally served alongside the haggis and washed down with a dram of whiskey. Burns night celebrates the famous Scots poet Rabbie Burns, writer of Auld Lang Syne and addressed to a haggis. The latter poem is read over the food at an annual supper, after the haggis has been piped in with great ceremony. It's possibly an acquired taste, but it's hearty fare, well suited to cold winter nights. Number 8. Steak and kidney pie. They may favour sweet pies across the pond, but in the UK, we're all about the savoury. And the meatier, the better. Apple pie and custard is worth a mention too, but honestly, we're more likely to cook up a crumble. Whether you're opting for chicken and mushroom, or steak and ale, serve your pie with mash or with chips, and don't stint on the gravy. A pork pie eaten as a snack is one of life's great pleasures, but steak and kidney is the real classic. The combination...
I prefer your guys of doing pie, for sure. He said you stick to the savory. I am way more of a savory person than a sweet. The only time I prefer sweet food is at like 1 a.m. when I wake up and I suddenly crave it. But I could eat these meat pies or whatever, Toad in the Hole. I could eat them every day.
Of that rich, meaty filling, thick gravy, and golden brown pie crust is utterly mouth-watering, especially if the pie is homemade. Number 7. Trifle. Originating in England, the trifle has had some success as a children's party favourite, but really, it's adults who love this indulgent confection of jelly, fruit and cream. That might have something to do with the amount of booze it's acceptable to pour into these things, although the recipe...
Question, guys, is that sponge cake in there, or is that more cream? I think it's cream. Yeah, like I said, I'm more of a savory,
Something
salty.
to do with the amount of booze it's acceptable to pour into these things. Although the recipe can vary
Whole
greatly,
bottle.
versions of this layered pudding began making cookery book appearances back in the 16th century. The trifle's glory days may be behind it, but as it's easily rustled up and always looks impressive, we doubt it'll disappear anytime soon. In fact, in 2022, a new
there is.
variation on the dessert, including lemon Swiss roll, white chocolate, and amaretti biscuits, was chosen as the official platinum pudding to commemorate the Queen's Jubilee.
Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth II. White chocolate is overrated. I said it, okay? It is. It looks okay. It looks new. It's like, ooh, it's white chocolate. But it's just not as good, okay? I don't like it. It tastes more like hardened frosting than it does chocolate. Yeah, so hot take.
Number 6, shepherd's pie
Oh!
and cottage pie. When it comes to the nation's favorite pies,
Give me!
some of our most beloved
So good. Apparently I've never had shepherd's pie because I've never had it with lamb, and shepherd, sheep, lamb makes sense. But I've had it with beef, and I love it. With Worcestershire sauce on the side, plenty of it. Douse it.
loved are not really pies at all. Shepherd's pie and cottage pie are established family favourites made from mincemeat topped with mashed potato and cooked in the oven. Many of us
Potato.
think of the two pies as interchangeable, but supposedly shepherd's pie uses lamb, hence the name, while cottage is traditionally made with beef mince.
Okay, I guess then I love cottage pie, but I always called it
The
shepherd's
British
pie.
cousin of spaghetti bolognese and chili con carne, shepherd's or cottage pie has become a staple for many of us in the UK.
I'm way too
However,
excited.
there is a possibility that it actually originated in France. Number 5. Sticky toffee pudding. Compared to some of the distinguished dishes on this list, sticky toffee pudding is a bit of a newfangled
dick.
invention, coming to popularity in the 1970s. The Aussies and the Kiwis call it sticky date pudding, but we can claim the recipe as our own. The modern incarnation traces back to a hotel in Cumbria, although one pub in Yorkshire claims they were serving it back in 1907. A good sticky toffee pudding consists of a light, moist sponge made with chopped dates and seasoned with nuts or spices. It's doused in toffee sauce and served with vanilla ice cream or custard. There's no British delicacy that feels more indulgent. But if you want a quick fix, you can even make it in the microwave. Number 4.
Was that the man with the beautiful blue eyes? What was I gonna say? Oh my god.
Or spices. It's doused
Forget it. I forget.
that feels more indulgent. But if you want a quick fix, you can even make it in the microwave.
Oh yeah, Cumbria. Does that border is that far north west England bordering Scotland? Am I right?
Number 4. Chicken tikka masala.
It's Indian.
Considered by some as our national dish. Yes, really. This mild chicken curry is Britain's favourite Indian meal. But it's not really Indian at all. Inspired by butter chicken, it's believed to have been invented back in the 60s by the British South Asian community. Was it the Bangladeshi migrant chefs, the British Pakistanis from Glasgow, or the Indian cook from London with the can of Campbell's soup? Whichever apocryphal tale is the true version, we can safely say that chicken tikka masala was designed to be marketed to Brits. Not
Okay, I feel like I've heard that before. So you could take this to India and they'd be like, what is this?
too spicy and swimming in gravy, the tomato and chicken based dish is more than a tasty takeaway classic, it's multiculturalism in action. Number 3. A full English. Breakfast is the most important meal of the
mushrooms.
day, and there's nothing more satisfying than when you get the chance to do it proper. No croissants or pancakes for us. Brits traditionally break their fast with a fry-up. Your full English should typically include sausages, bacon and eggs, mushrooms, fried bread, fried or grilled tomatoes, black pudding, and maybe a hash brown or two. The
So fried bread, how do you just put it in the toaster and then put some butter on a skillet or some oil on a skillet and just let it crisp up a bit? Is that all it is? And the mushrooms are a fantastic bonus. I love mushrooms so much. I can't believe something without seasoning or that just grows out of the ground and chopped up and thrown in oil can be so delicious, and they just are. The tomatoes are a nice addition. I like that these are cherry tomatoes rather than the giant kind of half tomato. Those look more like hot dogs there, but sausages, eggs, of course. Do you like dip the bread in the yolk? Oh. American breakfast would be hash browns or okay, never mind. Just hash browns, corned beef hash, sausage, bacon, French toast, pancakes.
Scottish add haggis, white pudding, oatcakes or tatty scones. The Welsh
amazing.
occasionally include cockles and lava bread, and an Ulster fry might be served with soda bread or potato cakes. Whatever part of the UK you hail from, it's widely understood that a fry-up is the food of the gods, a reliable hangover cure, and a great British institution.
Beans,
Number
nice
2,
addition.
a Sunday roast. Talking of British institutions, let's take a minute to celebrate the traditional Sunday roast. Many households still sit down to a roast dinner on a Sunday afternoon, and pubs do a roaring trade in carveries for Sunday lunch. The Great British Roast is basically a less fancy version of your classic Christmas dinner.
With the
roasted
popovers.
meat, Yorkshire puddings, roast potatoes and veg are your basic components. Gravy and stuffing are recommended, and of course, whatever sauce goes best with your meat of choice. Whether you're tugging into chicken, lamb, or a bit of roast beef, the plates are piled high and soon scraped clean.
Before we begin,
So good. So good. Just that I would prefer the roast beef over anything else with the mashed potatoes or however the potatoes are made. I don't care. With some gravy and the popover, or Yorkshire pudding as you call it. So
we
good.
publish new content every day, so be sure to
Same.
subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
I'm so hungry.
Number 1. Fish and chips.
Classic.
We've covered breakfast and Sunday dinner, but what about those evenings when you just can't be bothered to cook? What about days out by the seaside or Friday nights in front of the telly? That calls for a trip to the chippy. Our beloved fish and chip shops have been here since the 1860s, and they're everywhere you look. Battered fish deep fried in oil, hot chips served with gravy, curry sauce, or lashings of salt and vinegar. What could be more comforting? Traditionally, fish and chips were eaten on a Friday, partly due to the Catholic custom of eschewing meat on that day, but there is no bad time to indulge in this iconic combination.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out the
Sure. Everything was everything except the dessert items. But Toad in the Hole looks great. Looks pretty good. Haggis I would definitely try, right? The meat pie is so good. Dessert, nobody cares about that. Shepherd's pie. Oh my god. So good. Sweet stuff, nobody cares. Chicken tikka masala, I'm sure could be okay. English breakfast, great. And the best of all. Just drizzle some gravy all over all of that stuff and just enter my mouth now. Sorry, that was creepy. Pretty good, though. That looks so good. My mouth is watering. I'm starving. The rosemary, too. Hope you guys are doing well. Sorry if I was a freak. But I love food. I really do. Hope you guys are doing well. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Loved any comments, guys. Let me know which one's your favorite, where you think I'm an idiot and should like this. Or if they didn't include a dish that you love in Britain. Yeah, love to see it. Bye, guys.